What's up? Thanks for tuning in. You're watching Review It with Ree. So today's episode is going to be on a series from Stephen King's novel called The Outsider. It's a 10 episode series. It has one season so far. You can get it on DSTV or you can stream it. So basically the storyline of this series is it takes place in a small town and a boy is killed. Actually murdered, brutally, gruesomely. It's bad. And now it turns from a normal crime investigation to something more sinister. It becomes a mess. So what happens is there's a cop called Ralph who's called to the scene to identify and just check what's happening, and he does his investigation and he picks up that the possible suspect is Terry Maitland. So Terry Maitland is a baseball teacher, coach, if you may. He's a moral citizen. He's loved by everybody in the town. He's known by everyone in the town. He's just like the ideal man. And he's a family man too, 2 daughters, a beautiful wife, great things, So it's almost like how could it be this guy? This is like the perfect example of a perfect citizen. So why would he do this, But the evidence is overwhelming. So you're just like, it has to be him. I mean, fingerprints, someone saw him, it's a lot. And basically we go through this journey and we're trying to see whether it's him or not. But the evidence says it's him, strange. So this detective Ralph gets Terry arrested in the public because, he's adamant that this is Terry and he wanted to embarrass Terry, and I also just think he wanted to make a point and make a statement that you don't just go kill little children and think you can get away with it. We're gonna make you known, we're gonna make you public, especially because you're someone that people look up to and you're seen as a moral citizen. You of all people should not be, actually no one should kill children. That's the point. Cool. And he's so driven by this and so adamant to fight this case because he himself has lost a child. So he has something that keeps him, driven and going. So motive, that's the word. So now what happens is this teacher, well, he's a teacher as well and he's a coach. He argues that, listen guys, I was in a teacher conference in another state, so how could it be me? I don't understand, And then they do their research, they see that actually he was at this teacher conference. So it was like, what's happening? Does he have a twin? What is this? This is creepy. So it gets the show is creepy, guys. It's creepy. It keeps you on your toes and you're just wondering, what's gonna happen next, So basically, something happens and before they can exonerate this Terry Maitland guy, things just go wrong and they realize that they're not winning or losing this case. Nothing is coming together, there's too many unexplainable things. And so then they bring in some girl called Holly Gibney, and this woman is very, 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 very intelligent, and she's almost like I think she's special. I know that's not a nice way to say that. I'm sorry, but I don't know what the term is, because to me she seemed autistic, but they don't really emphasize what is her situation. But it is quite clear that she's very intelligent for her age, and she grew up with her parents taking her to mental institutions, hospitals, running tests on her and all sorts of things, just trying to understand why is this child's brain capacity at this level. So this Holly girl comes in and she basically realizes that, this is not a normal crime. This is something supernatural. This is insidious. This is a lot. And she tries to make them understand that, and everyone is not having it, especially Ralph. However, Ralph's wife, can't remember her name right now, but she happens to be on Holly's side, and she's open to the idea that, sometimes when things are not explainable, it could be things that are out of this world, things that are beyond us and our control as human beings, you know. So it's interesting, and it's great to see that Holly is not alone, because the whole time you're like, I get you, girl, I know what you're fighting about, but no one is buying her story. So it's frustrating for Holly because she doesn't know how to express herself properly, and it's frustrating for you as the audience, because you're just like, guys, come on, like, obvious, this is not a normal situation, this has to do with some supernatural vibes, you know. Fair. So basically now the whole thing is just them trying to prove that it was never Terry Maitland, and that something more sinister is going on. And eventually what happens is, more as they're researching this supernatural force, they start to realize that there are more people that have been affected in this whole process, that have not, maybe their stories didn't get as popular as this Terry Maitland story, but they also suffered something similar. And now it looks like there's a pattern, or maybe like these people are all interconnected in some way, you know. So it gets interesting. And basically what this creature or supernatural thing is called, they call it Al Kuko, and it's a universal supernatural force, in the sense that different people around the world call it different things, boogeyman, Al Kuko, you name it. And so that's what connects people. I guess that's what they tried to do with this movie, with the series, is that they wanted to make it seem that it's something that is spoken about or heard of everywhere in the world. So it's not something unheard of, you know, except it's something that people don't want to accept and believe that it exists and it is there. And that's something Haley kept emphasizing. She's like, just because you don't see something doesn't mean it's not there, you know. Just because something is not explainable doesn't mean it's impossible, it's not there, you know what I mean? So that's just what the whole process was about. Like, the whole series, just her trying to prove to this rough detective that he needs to get out of his head thinking that this is a person that did this is beyond people, you know. And basically they start to catch up with this Al Kuko person, figure, creature. And this Al Kuko creature realizes that, okay, these people are picking up, they're learning my habits, they're learning my behavior, I've been getting away with this for so many centuries, and this Holly girl gets it, and she's a threat to me because I have a mission, you know. And this Al Kuko thrives on grief, on pain, on hurt. So it's very emotional, it's heavy. And that's why Ralph is a perfect victim for him, because he has so much grief from losing his child. Hence Ralph even sometimes sees his son, which is not his son, it's Al Kuko. But he doesn't know that at the time because he doesn't believe in those things. Okay, so this Al Kuko thing basically targets one of the police members. His name is, I think it was Jack. And this Jack guy, I don't know what his grievance was, but he was hurting in some way, and that's why Al Kuko was able to take him. Because what he was doing, how he got trapped by Al Kuko, is that he was trying to investigate the situation as well, and then he ended up in some barnyard, and in that barn I think Al Kuko was there, and then he took him while he saw, whatever you want to call it, and basically he became a slave to Al Kuko. So unlike everyone else, because what Al Kuko does is he's a shapeshifter, so he basically becomes you, kills a child or a person, and then you get framed for it as the actual person, you know what I mean? So he clones you, does a crime, has your fingerprints, has your blood, everything. He is you. And it's, people think when they see you, they think it's you. He behaves like you. But now you find that you were in another city, another country. You don't know about this crime, and now you're arrested for something you don't know about, but you connected in some way. And how he connects these people is by scratching them. So each one scratches another person, and then blood is spilled, and then that's how he starts his journey. It's messed up. So yeah, so this Jack guy became a slave to Al Kuko, and basically Al Kuko makes him do everything that he wants to do because he can't be brought to the light, you know, people can't see him. So he does all the dirty work for Al Kuko, you know, and the listening and the gathering of information to see how far are they with this investigation. Are they figuring him out, So that's how we saw that Holly's a threat, and that's how he tries to get Jack to try and kill Holly, which is messed up. And Holly was smart enough to pick up that something going on. So yeah, that was hectic. Then, so basically, this Jack guy is a slave to Akuku, and he realizes it. That's the cool thing about this though. Unlike the other people that were not aware that Akuku had taken over them, Jack realizes this, and he's sort of trapped. And I think it's very like symbolic, because it's almost like, in life sometimes your demons get the best of you, and if you're not strong enough to fight it off, it will get the better of you. And you know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure there's always a space where you're trying to fight these demons and you're almost conquering them, or you do conquer them, you know what I mean? And you see that with Jack, it's hectic. Like there's a scene where Akuko's beating him up, and that's why I say it's symbolic, because it's almost like mirroring the fact that as people you have those demons, like I explained. You get what I'm saying? So there's a lot. Like this show is deep, but it gets you thinking. It keeps you on your toes. You think you know what's gonna happen next, but you don't know what's gonna happen next. Like it's a lot. And there's another lesson that it teaches, that what Holly was saying, that just because you can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because, basically it's saying that, there's good and there's evil, and you don't have to believe in the evil such that you must praise evil or whatever. No, but you must be aware that it's there. And sometimes things that happen in this world are not human things, or they're not controlled by humans, but they're controlled by the supernatural, being evil, or controlled by God, being, the good, or Allah, or whatever you praise, So I like that they touched on that, because I know for Christians, for example, it'd be like, there's a whole demon roaming the streets, committing crimes. And I think that's a perfect example of some people's, like, I know Christians probably, I've had conversations with Christians, and they think that when someone commits a crime like murder, or they're a rapist, it's not the person, it's a demon. And I think that's what also they were trying to show us with this Akuko figure, that yes, okay, that's a different story because he shapeshifts and becomes you, but in essence they were just trying to say that maybe that when people do these evil things, it's not them, it's something else, a different entity that enters them. So that was cool as well. And yeah, basically we just discover who this Akuko figure is and the things he does that are so insidious. And yeah, guys, that show was lit. The writing, the characters, the acting, it was on point. Like there's not one episode where you're like, when are we finishing? Like you want to keep watching. I mean, guys, I started this thing on DSTV. It had only 3 episodes, and my aunt was the one that told me to check it out. And literally when I got to episode 3, I was like, sis, we need to binge watch this. I kid you not, we binge watched it until 2 a.m. in the morning because we could not switch off the laptop. We wanted to see what's going to happen next, and I can promise you, you're going to have the same experience. I am not going to disappoint you with this one. Like, I think this is one of my favorite series out of all the ones that I've reviewed, out of all the ones that I've watched. It's one of my top 5. Definitely, it was really good, honestly. I think there will be a season 2, but we'll see what happens, But yeah, guys. Hey. No, guys, that one, loved it. However, there's lots of things though. The ending, which I didn't talk much about because I want you guys to watch it. That was the best scene ever. The ending, it was good. It was a nice episode. However, like the final part, I really just think that they could have played on it a bit more, and you'll see why I say that, especially the part about Akuko. There's a part, I think that episode was mainly about Akuko, and I really think they could have done a lot better with that. So what was great, however, was that, like I said, the detective finally saw his flaw in the fact that the reason they were not able to get as far as they could have in this case was because he chose to not want to see things the way they are. Like he was so blinded by the fact that no, if it can't be explained, it's not real. No, and you're not realizing that you're blocking yourself from so much that you could be seeing or learning or experiencing just because you're choosing to be close-minded. That guy was hella annoying. Like, so there's so many things he concealed that could have helped Holly build this case quicker, so they could close this case and get it over with, and that really pissed me off. Like he was being stubborn, and even his wife was fed up. She was like, dude, come on, like, why are you this person? I told you that our cooker even came to me, so can you stop this nonsense? No guys. Yeah, moral of the story, like I've been saying, and I will say it again, just because you cannot see it, feel it, touch it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Same with what? Christianity or any religion. Actually, we can't see the people, not because they're not people, they super megas. You can't see our gods that we praise, but we have faith and we believe that they exist. So I think the same should apply for evil. We can't see it, we can't touch it, we can't feel it, we can't smell it, but it exists. You know what I mean? And I don't understand what was so hard for that detective to accept. That's just me. However, there's lots of things that I missed out though, but I did that on purpose because I want you guys to check it out, and to see how it is. I want you guys to comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Was it on? Was it not? What is your symbolism of it? Yeah, that's pretty much it about it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that I kept you intrigued and wanting to know what's gonna happen next. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you check out my other videos. I hope you tell your friends, tell their friend that they should check out Review It with Hi. So yeah, guys, please follow me on all my social media pages. They're in the description box below. And yeah, that's it. Don't forget to stay updated, stay posted, stay relevant, stay on. Bye. So basically, the storyline of this series is based more malevolent, like called Haley Gibney. No, sorry, I lied. Holly Gibney. And she happens to be on Holly's side, and so lit, the lighting, no, not a light, the shots ending like a nice episode. They could have played on it, and how I think also